hearing to consider the proposed vacation of 982.0 feet of Old Vrooman Road in Leroy Township and 2,454.03 feet of Vrooman Road in Perry Township. Let's see, this public hearing is being called to order at this time. This hearing is being held in accordance with Section 5553.05 of the Ohio Revised Code for the primary purpose of hearing comments on the proposed vacation of 982.06 feet of Old Vrooman Road in Leroy Township and 2,454.0 feet of Vrooman Road in Perry Township. And the hearing will be recorded. Any person wishing to comment on the proposed vacation of 982.06 feet of Old Vrooman Road in Leroy Township and 2,454.30 feet of Vrooman Road in Perry Township is invited to speak at this time, or an agent may speak on their behalf, after stating their names and full address in a clear and distinct voice for the record. Okay, with that, David.
Good morning, David Rodacci, Lake County Planning Community Development Director, 105 Main Street, Painesville, Ohio. Up on the screen is a air photo of the proposed vacation of Old Vrooman Road and Vrooman Road in Perry and Leroy Townships. The road is being vacated as part of the new Vrooman Road Bridge project. Portions, what's in yellow is what used to be an open road that is no longer necessary because of the new bridge. Areas in orange are a unopened paper street of Vrooman Road because it used to go up towards 84 in two different directions. And the green area at the bottom that serves 3 houses is going to remain open and as a public road. At this time, we will need a engineer's report to be able to proceed in the future, so I would ask the board to continue this public hearing until next week and then ask the board to ask the engineer for the report so we can complete this project, this vacation.
Very good. Reasonable request, gentlemen. You okay with that? I'll take your silence as yes. Engineer, you can get us the report requested. Excellent. Quick question for you. Utility easements along that road. If we vacate the road, we're not vacating any easements through that area?
No, we're not. We're just vacating our right to use it as a public thoroughfare to move traffic, cars, and foot traffic.
Okay. And Randy, you're satisfied that protects utilities' interests, if any, through that area?
We don't have any utilities in that area.
Oh, yeah, but I believe there was an easement or something down through there for a potential water line at some point. At least that's some historical thing that I think might. Oh, okay. Engineer, any thoughts? Okay. Okay. All right, very good. Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute. There is one thought. You have to understand that this was all gone through with the public hearings and so forth that we had for the project. This is part of the environmental commitment that was made to get the $28 million from the feds to support the project.
Sure.
And this is an agreement also with the Lake Metropolitan Parks in order to get an easement through the park to build the rerouted project.
Right. No, what I was referring to is I thought there might be some utility easement to follow the old Vrooman Road to go under the river in case there was ever a thought for a water line. Just in case there was ever a thought for a...
There's no water and sewer in there. Or the only utility that is in there is... there are poles for CEI telephone, and there is a line on those poles that comes from the power plant that's critical. That's something we had to work around when we did the bridge. So, but that's the only thing. It's nothing that Lake County has.
Okay. It was just one of those concerns of how do we get water if we ever did from 84.
I don't think I would talk about water. If I were you, and sewer across this land, because Leroy Township is very adamant and was very adamant, and we did give them a commitment that we would not put water and sewer on the bridge.
Sure.
Shh.
Gotcha. Mum's the word. Okay. Thank you. David, thank you. All right, moving on. Do we have anything for David? No? Okay. All right, the board will now review and receive any written comments on the proposed road vacation at this time.
Commissioner?
Do we have, oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. My name is
Thank
Sandra
you.
Ponsart, and I
And you're
live
so
at,
quiet, thank you.
my name is Sandra Ponsart. I live at 5360 Vrooman Road. I am the Old Vrooman. I am the last house on Old Vrooman before you get down to the Metro Parks.
Yes, ma'am.
My complaint is you're cutting off my property. When you don't plow, you need to move it a little bit more because you're cutting off our property. We could not get our tractor out to plow our own driveway because we use that side. And I have gone over this with the Metro Parks on numerous occasions because the Metro Parks approached us last year and actually wanted to turn my driveway and my front yard into a turnaround, and we declined. But I had told them at that time, when they were talking about putting a gate or only plowing to a certain point, I said, that's fine, but you still need to leave this one area open. When we just had that past snow, my husband, who had fractured his hip, tailbone, fell trying to get our tractor out through our front yard and ended up breaking his tailbone. So it needs to be moved, and you still have plenty of room before you go down the hill. But you cannot block that portion of our property. We use it in the winter.
We actually have a driveway there.
Oh, Engineer Gills, can you show us on the map the area that's being discussed?
No, I can't, but probably Tracy can.
We're the,
Tracy, thank you.
we're the second to the last lot there. That's marked up.
Yeah, oh, please, yes, thank you.
Does the cul-de-sac that the Metro Parks is constructing help you to be able to move?
No, they're putting,
No, they put it across from our property.
they're putting a
Question
gate
being a
in
cul-de-sac.
almost the middle of our property to where we can't get to that driveway when they put the gates up.
I mean, can you imagine, we had 2.5 feet of snow, and you were trying to pull a tractor through my front yard?
It's just,
Like-
it's cutting off our property.
Yeah,
when the
we
gates-
need that driveway.
So it's causing a hardship, basically. Is that a reasonable way to?
Yeah, and it caused a physical one when he fell.
Gotcha. Legal, how do we proceed?
I'm unaware of this, so I think what we need to do is sit down
Well,
and talk about it. Quite
If you
frankly.
look on the map where they show the yellow, see where the yellow starts? It's right in
Yes.
the middle of our lot.
Right.
So it comes in here.
Ah, okay, so it's,
Currently, like Metro Parks is constructing a cul-de-sac across the street
and that's
here.
actively being constructed now then?
It
or-
is,
Yes.
and then it'll be paved once construction season begins and the asphalt plant's open as part of one of our construction projects. So I apologize because it was told us that'll give you access to be able to move your tractors back in and out through there.
Yes, that's fine there. It's just where they're putting the gate. The gate is here, and we still have a driveway that goes around the back of our house. Yes.
And where they put the road closed sign is before our drive
Right,
there.
right. Well,
And then
that's
they
where the
pile all the snow up, like,
Does the gate cut your property, is the gate right in the middle of your property?
Not quite the middle, probably 75%, and on that other 25% is where the driveway is.
So then you would have to exit somewhere.
We'd have to get the gate open to
You'd
get
exit
through.
in order to plow out your driveway, which is another
Yes.
drive.
right, but they plow all the snow there.
You have to get through that gate. Is that what you're saying? That you
Yes.
don't have access
We don't have access
We don't
when,
have access.
when the road's closed.
when the gate is closed.
When the gate is closed. They haven't put
Well,
the
even
gate
when
up
the
yet.
road is
Poles
closed,
are-
because they're plowing all the snow in front of the road closed signs.
Oh.
So,
And they leave the snow right in front of the property.
correct.
And then when they put the gate up, though, the gates will be closed when they close the road, and we don't have no way to get through the gate. It's only probably 50 feet on the other side of the gate to get into the other driveway.
If they just move the gate,
Yeah.
that would solve the problem. We're not moving the gate up.
That's Metro Parks.
Now, I can say once the cul-de-sac
But
is
it's the
constructed,
county. But still
Where they're
plowing.
placing the snow will improve, because currently the county engineer is plowing it. So you're right, when they push down, once that cul-de-sac is there, it's going to give us area to push all of that snow off onto the right-hand side as you're coming northbound, so that snow would not be in front of the gates. But I can see though where it is, it still causes an issue with the.
Right, I
With
mean,
the
I
gate.
mean no disrespect, but
That's
that's
all.
not going to help, that plan for the future isn't going to help us now,
Correct.
so.
Tracy, can we talk to Metro Parks about getting?
Absolutely.
And that gate, this is something that.
They haven't installed it yet, they just have two poles in,
Because the road's
so
gonna
they
be
should
there
be able
anyway, so
to.
it's gonna be open most of the year. We're gonna find that gate's gonna be
Right,
closed
just-
during the winter.
we just need to
Because you
make
don't
su-
want people to go down there.
Right, but we just need to memorialize this so that your interests are protected. This sounds reasonable,
Yes,
legal.
absolutely.
Okay, no, thank you, folks.
Thank
And then,
you.
think we can get that understanding in place by next week?
Oh, I think we need to, because ODOT has made a phone call, and they want this cleared up. It's part of the commitment. They will not close the project, and they will not release everybody from this whole thing until this is done, and also the property is transferred that we promised Metro Parks, which is the Sidley property and the Anslick property. So we need to get on this before they get overexcited, and we write a check for $28 million back to them.
Well, you got $28 million backing you up, so I think that's a pretty big stick you folks have, so. I think even legal's eyebrows went up on that one, so. I think there's some very motivated people to work with you on this. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I apologize for not seeing you at the podium.
That's all right, thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anyone else wishing to address the hearing today? Anyone else? Okay, all right, so I will say yet again, the board will now receive any written comments on the proposed road vacation at this time. Do we have any written
4
comments?
seconds.
None at this time? Okay. The Board of Commissioners will not make any decisions on the above stated road vacation at this time. Any additional comments on the subject may be sent to the clerk of the Board of Lake County Commissioners, 105 Main Street, 5th floor, Building A, Lake County Administration Center, Painesville, Ohio, 44057, until 4:30, and we have down here till Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. And with that, I will say this public hearing is adjourned. Madam Clerk, please note the time.
Can you continue? David? Continue.
Legal, do you want me to stand by?
Mr. Hammercheck,
Sir.
the request was to continue the public hearing to next week and not to adjourn the public hearing.
Not to adjourn the public hearing?
Yeah.
Correct.
So this meeting is just to
This
be
public hearing will be
continued.
continued to next week.
So it's the same public hearing, we're just,
Correct.
so we're not adjourning, I apologize, I just want to make sure I get this right. We are recessing
Recessing, that's fine,
Continuing?
and it's continued to next week.
till next week.
Correct.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yes.
Got it. Madam Clerk, you're going to note that appropriately in the meeting minutes. David, thank you for that clarification. Okay, and with that, I thank you for the time, and we will roll directly into our commissioner meeting if that's acceptable. All right. And with that, I will say thank you for joining us today for the 7th meeting of the Lake County Board of Commissioners. Would all those who are willing and able please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority. And may we use in our directives for the common good and for thy honor and glory. Amen. Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Present.
Commissioner Young.
Here.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here. Okay, well, let's see. We have some guests with us here. And trying to figure out how the best do we want to talk about our congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week. We have with us Gabby and her mother. So you folks want to kind of come up and share with us what you're here and what we're going to be acting on here today? Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. So this is really important to us because so many people are impacted by congenital heart defects every year. It affects 1 in 100 individuals, both children and adults. My daughter is personally impacted, and I'm impacted as well. We both have different conditions. And so what we're looking to do, hopefully here, we're working towards making it a yearly thing across the state of Ohio to recognize, but we were advised to try to consult our local counties first, and so that's why we're here today. Every February is Heart Month, but nationally from the 7th to the 14th is recognized as Heart Week. And so we're hoping that we're able to get that passed today.
Very good.
Gabby, do you want to say anything?
Gabby?
I want to
It bends
just,
down if you wish. Tippy toes are great, but it does move.
I just wanted to say, like, it helps, like, so many people if this, like, would pass, because it would help some people not celebrate, but help it feel recognized.
Indeed, awareness is very important. If that comes out of that, see something, say something. So thank you for sharing that. Gentlemen, thoughts?
Well, I just want to say on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, thank you for being here to advocate for such an important cause. I'm sure you're very proud of your daughter, and Lake County is grateful to both of you.
Thank you.
Indeed, and Madam Clerk, I believe we did pass this at the previous meeting.
We did on February 3rd.
There you go.
But if you'd like to take a picture.
Pictures are good if you're open to that. I know Commissioner Pletchnik would not be happy with me if we didn't get pictures. He's sort of my conscience on photos. So.
Well, before we do that, I just wanted to ask a quick
Please.
one. Just for the public, could you define what congenital heart disease is?
Do you want me to, or do you want to? So
Some people have actually been asking me about that. So.
Sure. So congenital heart disease or defects are defects that children are born with. Congenital means at birth. Some of them are found prenatally, so some people have them discovered when they're pregnant. Other people are not so fortunate to find out after they've given birth to their children. Typically, children that are not discovered prenatally have low oxygen levels. It's malformations of the heart. So when the heart is malformed in any way, shape, or form, it doesn't function properly. This leads to low oxygen levels, the need for repair, so any sort of surgery within the first days of life. It's lifelong, so there are some kids that go on to needing transplant, and there's a misconception that transplant cures congenital heart defects when it actually doesn't. They still may need to go on to future surgeries in the future. So really, when you think of congenital, it's anything that's present at birth. So when you hear of congenital conditions, it's at birth. But some people are fortunate with the modern advancements in medicine to be diagnosed prenatally.
Very good. Great job. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now we can take our pictures. Well, go ahead. You were gonna say something?
Did you want to say something?
No.
Are you sure? Okay.
Sorry, I hope I didn't interrupt you there.
Yes, I don't know wherever they choose to. Up here? All right.
All right, I'm going to take a couple. Go ahead.
All right, extreme close. Oh, that's good. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Cakes.
Okay, and then if we can, I'd like to move up item number 13, if we kind of sneak that in there and invite...
Unless there's any more for public comment.
Oh, that's fair enough. Anyone else wishing? She's keeping me honest here. This is good. Anyone else wishing to address the board at this time for public comments?
Public comment?
Oh, yes, please. Yeah. Mr. Massey.
Brian Massey, average citizen, 8196 Rainbow Drive. Been very interested in the ARPA money. I understand that the $44 million that will be coming into the county, and I know that we've hired a law firm to decide where we can appropriately spend the money. And I know that we spent $700,000 on the light system for the East Lake baseball field and $100 and some thousand for the mobile clinic. I'm here to advocate on behalf of Concord Township that we have some serious needs for water wells that are not working, and we need some help. There's about a $500,000 or $600,000 issue, and I'm sure our very capable administrator, Andy Rose, will probably be contacting Mr. Boyd, but I'm here to ask the commissioners to seriously consider that request. Thank you very much.
And just to give you a little bit of background, the governor also has a program, I believe it's H2 Ohio. I don't know if you want to, Randy, you want to opine on that a little bit, or you just give me that look of like, please, John, don't make me talk about this?
I'm not familiar exactly what's available for wells, private wells.
Well, I was just thinking municipal water build-outs.
Sure, yeah. There's some money available for that. We actually got some grant money for a rehabilitation project in Madison Township. Generally, we are applying for grants and low-interest loans to replace and rehabilitate lines that we already own and for our existing customers. Yeah, we certainly are aggressive with that when it becomes available.
If there, and speaking to Mr. Rose, I don't know if it's the same grant program, but he says that there's no additional money available, in that. Again, we may be talking about different grant programs, but nothing could be more serious as far as I'm concerned than getting fresh water to the residents.
Fair enough.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay. Anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone else? All right. Thank you. Moving on to our agenda items. If we could, Madam Clerk, move up agenda item number 13 to be our first item, please.
Yes, and special resolutions. Resolution proclaiming the month of February 2022 James A. Garfield Month in Lake County, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
And discussion. Site Manager Todd Arrington. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. I don't have anything prepared, but that is dangerous in my case. When you let a park ranger and a historian have the mic with no prepared remarks, you might be here for a while. So I'll just say thank you very much for designating February as James A. Garfield Month. Obviously, we at James A. Garfield National Historic Site and Mentor feel like he's the only president from Lake County, so every month should be James A. Garfield Month, but we're happy to start here with February. So thank you. We are very proud, the National Park Service is very proud to be part of Lake County. We're very proud not only to commemorate the life and career and legacy of President James A. Garfield, but we're also proud that national parks, including this one, are great economic drivers for tourism and for counties like Lake County. James A. Garfield National Historic Site typically contributes well over $1 million to the economic well-being of Lake County every year. So we're very proud to be part of this, and we thank you very much for recognizing James A. Garfield.
Oh, indeed. But while we've got you up there as a ranger and a historian, I have to say I have personally bared witness to the skills that you and your staff have demonstrated with tours that are very broad and some that are very detailed. Could you maybe share some of that? I think some of these personalized tours are pretty amazing, the detail. Can you take a few minutes and share that with us?
Oh, sure. I can take more than a few, but I'll try to stick to a few. So, well, first of all, I thank all three of you for having visited the site before. I know we've had all three of you there, and we appreciate that. We normally we offer guided tours of the Garfield home. We have some high points that we hit on all of our tours, talking about the presidential campaign of 1880, the nation's first ever front porch presidential campaign. We also acknowledge the memorial library that Mrs. Garfield added to the home following the president's assassination as the birthplace of the presidential library idea. So if you're traveling around the country and you visit presidential libraries, know that that idea for these large, beautiful presidential libraries all over the country today, that idea actually started in Lake County in Mentor, Ohio, with the Memorial Library of the Garfield home. A lot of the other things that we're very active in discussing right now include Garfield as a very strong advocate of anti-slavery prior to the Civil War, his service to the Union as a general during the war, and then his very forward-thinking views on civil rights for formerly enslaved people after the war. So he is someone that, though a lot of people think of him as a sort of an accidental short-term president because unfortunately he was assassinated so early in his term, he actually is far more important than that, and we try to bring that out whenever we have special events or whenever we take people through the home.
And just to do a little commercial for your facility, you also allow it to be a host location for activities, and you dovetail that also with tours and some presentations also, if you want to share some of that.
We do. We're lucky enough now to have a nonprofit partner called the James A. Garfield Alliance that we can do a lot of that stuff through in terms of hosting events and things like that. We do have some limitations being a federal facility, of course, but yes, we can do some of those things, and we use the nonprofit partner as a vehicle to do that. So we're very fortunate to have that wonderful organization involved as well.
And I dare say incredibly family friendly.
Very much so, yes, for sure.
Excellent. Commissioner Young, Commissioner Pletchnik, anything, gentlemen?
Mr. President,
Sir.
I would just say it's remarkable when you step back and realize that the President of the United States was from Lake County. You get to see on the site of his home not only where he lived, but where he campaigned. When they say front porch campaign, President Garfield, then Congressman Garfield, literally stood on his front porch waiting for trains to unload and gave speeches to people coming on and off. We've heard of mayors of Cleveland riding the bus to campaign to people. This person literally stood. President Garfield stood in front of the train station to campaign. And you could see his campaign headquarters, which was a little shack with couple papers, and it's amazing to just look in and see how a presidential campaign was run in the day, and to know that it all happened here. The man was a minister, a professor, a general, a congressman, a state senator, U.S. senator-elect, because he wasn't planning on being congressman. He actually went to the Republican National Convention to campaign for someone else, and he walked out the nominee. Imagine that. And then to come back to Lake County as President of the United States, we could spend hours upon hours upon hours talking about the history that President Garfield made, but he's someone that we can all be proud of. A Lake Countyan was a president, and a great president. If he had been there a little bit longer, we would live in a better world, but we're grateful for the service that he did give to our country. And for those of you who have not had the opportunity to tour the historic site in Mentor, it's a life-changing opportunity. So make sure you bring your children, make sure you go and see what more than arguably the greatest public servant in the history of Lake County was able to achieve in his life and times.
Magnificent. Commissioner Young?
Sure. I've always appreciated going there and meeting people from all over the world. Your swearing in processes you conduct there, and giving folks like me an opportunity to participate. And everyone there feels like they're part of the ceremonies, swearing people in for citizenship, the tours. It's an exciting place, and just as Pletchnik was saying, it really helps put Lake County on the map. It really does, tremendously. A huge asset. So thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Excellent. And I have to echo, it is a wonderful location when that naturalization ceremony takes place there. It's impressive. You folks do it upright and you accommodate guests, family, everybody. Just, you know, I know you got a good working relationship with the church next door for parking. You're a good neighbor. So thank you. We truly appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, if there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. All right, with that, photos.
Yes.
Ready?
Commissioner Young, I know this pains you, Commissioner Young. Don't focus on the NY logo. Oh, thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, continuing with our regularly scheduled agenda.
Yes, in the Utilities Department, resolution approving final estimate number 14, release of retainage in the amount of $58,920 with SET Incorporated and accepting a 3-year maintenance bond in the amount of $165,251.43 for GLK Digester Improvement Project 408S for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution amending the sanitary sewage, solid waste, and water supply rules and regulations of the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Randy, just want to give a quick update on that?
Sure, thank you, Commissioner. This is our annual update for our rules and regulations. Every year we review the regulations and take that opportunity to make improvements to it and take suggestions from our customers and developers and engineers and whoever has a suggestion that we may be able to use to improve our the way we operate. It's only a couple items this year. The most significant one, well, a couple significant ones, we added the senior citizen discount language that was passed by resolution a few months ago. And then also we modified the way we measure septage that's delivered to the wastewater treatment plant. We're going to save some money there by just calculating the volume instead of purchasing a new scale. So it's a money-saving way that will, and it'll also be more efficient. So
Very good.
really
Thank you,
just
sir.
Two major things this year.
Excellent. Anything else for utilities? All right, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In Job and Family Services Department, resolution approving Lake County Department of Job and Family Services vouchers, date of warrant February 25th, 2022, in the amount of $602,144.19.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution appointing various individuals to the Lake Development Authority Tax Incentive Review Committee for 2-year terms ending February 21st, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution awarding a bid contract in the amount of $648,695 to Fabrizi Trucking and Paving Company for the Regional Stormwater Facility at Fairway Pines Project in Painesville Township, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Anyone want to comment? No? Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of a quit claim deed to transfer property in Madison Township to Genegy Family Trust.
Move. Go ahead. Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Jason, did you want to comment on this one? It's pretty straightforward, but it's actually an interesting ministerial action.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Yeah, I've been working for a number of months with Randy and a prosecutor's office. We had a small parcel in North Madison Township that utilities acquired a number of years ago. I think it was for a potential infrastructure project that we ultimately did not use or did not need the parcel. Mr. Genegy reached out to us in the winter before the holidays, and whether or not we needed the property, spoke with Randy. We no longer needed the property. Worked with the prosecutor's office on the means and methods by which we could deed that back to him. He's agreed to buy the property back from the county for $11,000. Upon approval of the resolution today, we already have the deeds prepared, conveyance form Mr. De Leon's helped us with, and I'll get Mr. Genegy or his representative in here to sign the documents, and we'll file and be done.
Very good. Any questions for Jason? Very good. Jason, thank you.
Yep.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing advertising for bids for Lake County General Fleet Vehicle Repairs and Maintenance, bid opening March 9, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Anyone wishing to comment? No? All right, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing advertising for bids for Lake County Sheriff's Office Fleet Vehicle Repairs and Maintenance, bid opening March 9, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $1,438,209.68.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $1,558,118.02.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations through various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Very good. This moves us on to our departmental reports portion of our meeting. Utilities. Randy?
No additional report today, Commissioner. Thank you.
Very good. I do want to say thank you, though, publicly. I appreciate your update that you sent regarding the, what do we got here? I believe that's the potential House Bill 422 regarding collection procedures for unpaid municipal water bills. That's a very hot topic here in the state, and I have to say I was deeply impressed with your analysis, and I appreciate the ability to send that down to the state and to our active participants in Columbus who are working with us on that. So thank you so very much.
You're very welcome.
All right, if there's nothing for utilities, moving on, Job and Family Services. Suzanne.
Good morning. No report today, Commissioners.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. County Administrator Jason Boyd.
Yeah, just briefly, Commissioner, on behalf of Mr. Madis, we conclude our budget hearings today. We have two hearings after this meeting, the Lake County Engineer's Office and the County Coroner's Office. And I believe, unless we were contacted today by anyone else, that will conclude the budget hearing process for those agencies or offices who wish to have one. And then Mr. Madis will put the final numbers together for your consideration based on what was presented to you in the hearings. Typically, Mike likes to get the budget buttoned up end of February, early March. And I think that's the track by which he wishes to follow. So, thank you.
Very good. While we got you, I believe we were discussing before the meeting, Coast Guard coming to Grand River, breaking up some ice.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, gosh, we just did talk about that. EMA Director Busher and a lot of first responders had a busy night. Last night, there was a fairly significant fire in the Willoughby area off of Ben-Hur. Joe responded to on behalf of the chiefs that as of 9:15, All units, with the exception of Willoughby, were sent back to their stations. But I believe every station in Lake County, in addition to some from outside of Lake County, were on site. So that is under control. I want to thank Joe for that. And then on his way to the command vehicle, he got a call from Willoughby Hills chief on flooding potential. This was early this morning. The good news is Joe was with Mayor Morley at Trader Jack's at the Lakeshore Bridge, and the chagrin did wash itself out beginning in East Lake and relieving all the pressure up into Willoughby Hills, up into Gates Mills. I believe there was some minor flooding earlier in the trailered area. Commissioner Pletchnik, I'm sure, knows handily where that is.
Trailered main fire is the Glen area.
Yep. But the good news is it flushed itself out, and hopefully, as we speak, the U.S. Coast Guard is in the harbor up in Fairport and Grand River, breaking the ice there to alleviate any issues in the Grand River and upstream there. So thanks to Joe and his team. He had a busy night. Thanks to all the first responders in the Willoughby area. And that concludes my report.
Very good. Thank you, sir. If there's nothing further.
Thank you.
Again, thank you, Jason. All right, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I wanted to mention that the next regular commissioners meeting is going to be next week on Thursday, February 24th, 10 o'clock here. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Anything for our clerk? Very good. Legal.
No reports, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving on to old business. Do you have any old business to come before the board?
Mr. President?
Sir.
I would just say, in line with what our county administrator shared about our budget director's goal of completing the process February or early March at the latest, it's really important that we continue to prioritize resolving the requests from our county prosecutor's office. We have seen, as most counties have, an increase in crime as well as the need for prosecution. And the reason why we have made Lake County safer than neighboring jurisdictions is because of exemplary law enforcement that includes the work of the prosecutor's office. So I think it's important that we address those requests. I'm personally supportive of them, but I know that to get the budget done, that's going to be an important piece of the puzzle.
Very good, sir. Thank you. Commissioner Young, anything, sir?
Not at this point.
Thank you, sir. Okay, moving on to new business. Any new business? No? All right, well, let me just throw this out there. We have Justice Pat DeWine will be in Lake County today, and he will be honoring us the Court Technology Roundtable, just an acknowledgement of the efforts and commitment on the part of our Lake County courts. They definitely are very aggressive in making sure that they are at the tip of the spear as far as service and performance to the people of Lake County. And I think that is high praise that we have a member of our Ohio Supreme Court coming to see the good work that our people are doing. So that is definitely a feather in the cap of the Lake County courts. So if there's no other new business, we will move on to our second public comment portion. Do we have anyone wishing to address the board? Sir.
John Music, 45 Coventry Drive, Painesville Township. As we go through the budget, I just want you to remember, don't forget the budgets of our senior citizens here in Lake County. As we all know, when I was working out this morning, there was a survey, and they said inflation is the #1 thing on people's minds right now. I don't remember if it was the voters or, but it was some, probably the voters, you know. But the thing about it is, you know, during the summer, I usually take a long walk coming over here. Go past Washington Square over there. And there was this gentleman sitting over there in a wheelchair. He had some event in his life, and he was in his wheelchair. And he says, believe it or not, sir, because I walked by and said hi, and he telling him I wanted to talk, he says, you know, I used to have money at one time. I was wealthy. I had my own business. But his health cost him a lot of money. And now he was living over there in Washington Square. So, you know, only thing I can say is, you know, continue to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars. You know, the thing about it is, think of this. How about most people in here are still working, but think about it. If you didn't get a pay raise for 20 or 25 years with this inflation and all this other stuff that's going on here, how would you be doing? Think about it. So all I'm asking you is be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars and continue to do so, because right now we're going some very, very rough times. They said, was it 40, 80, and it was 9.7% last thing I saw from last January, the increase in prices. And the thing about it is, a lot of people live payday to payday, and a lot of people only get one payday a month. And you never know, so that's all I'm thinking. And one kudos to Mark and his buildings and grounds. His staff has done a great job of removing all that snow that we had, so I want to give him kudos. I had seen him downstairs coming in, and everybody says, oh, the sidewalks are looking great, but they don't know the true effort what goes into that to get them to look that way. All right, thank you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Massey.
Brian Massey, 8196 Rainbow Drive. I have two items. First is the House Bill 546. I'm here to, I'm not sure if the commissioners are aware of it, but a Concord resident by the name of Bob Patterson has taken the initiative with State Representative Grindell to try to move this piece of legislation through the state. And it is called the Senior Citizens Tax Elimination Fund. And basically it will eliminate the problem for seniors over 65 by freezing property taxes. Whether or not it has, and what they're planning to do is have the law changed so that communities can actually create a savings account based on their operating expenses. I believe it's like 1%, and they can maintain it longer than 5 years. And whether this has any chance or not, and it probably has a lot of detractors, but I just say, if you don't like this bill, come up with something else to help the seniors. And I just wanted to make the commissioners aware of that bill, if you feel so inclined to speak out on it. The second issue is that we're doing a lot of research on Lake County Public Schools education. We have gone through the State of Ohio website, and we have actually recorded statistics for the proficiency scores of all 9 school districts in Lake County. And I will have to give kudos to Kirtland. Kirtland Public Schools came through as number 1 in the year 2018-19 and also in 2021. They came through at an overall proficiency in all grades and subjects at 84.4%, if I believe, which was quite remarkable. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have the Painesville City Schools. They are down at under 50%, and that's really unfair to those children in those schools. And Fairport Harbor, not much better. Riverside School Districts, of which I am part of that school district, we came through at a solid 75%, which is a solid C. But my parents never told me, Brian, go out there and just be average. So I'm not overly impressed with a 75%. But what is also very disconcerting to me and to us lobbyists for citizens is that we're becoming more aware of a profound change in the American public education system. We're moving away from an educational system focused on proficiency in math, science, reading, writing, the 3 R's that we were always taught that you go to school, to learn those subjects. We're going to a system that focuses on children's emotional development and value system that was heretofore the role of the family and churches. And whether we know it or not, this new educational system is grooming the children into obedience training with values that may not be supported by their parents. and is indoctrinating them with a perversion of the social justice thinking. So I mentioned we are going to oppose the social emotional learning, comprehensive sexual education, and all of the other acronyms that are going into the public school system. There is
Sorry to interrupt you, social emotional
learning, SEL. There is a website called CASEL, and that's spelled CASEL.org. I was made aware of that, so I'm trying to find what is the genesis of this whole thing. It just didn't start by itself. This goes back probably many years, and we're trying to find the genesis of how this whole thing started. But my concern, and I think we've seen it with the mask mandate, is that public education is now starting to interfere with the family structure, and that concerns me. Because when we destroy the families, babies, and morality, a society will collapse. There is a solution to the problem. One solution I kind of like is what they call the backpack bill, where money is given to the parents, and the parents will decide how their children are going to be educated and what school that they go to. If they want to drive 3 hours to go to a Columbus school, then they'll pay that Columbus school. If they want to do homeschooling, then the parents have the right to determine where their children are going to be educated. I'm not sure where that backpack bill is right now, but it's probably going to be fought by the teachers' associations, I'm sure, the unions. But my goal is to try to get the education back in the hands of the parents. I will keep the commissioners appraised of as we move forward, and we will educate the people in Lake County for those school board members that are advocates for the social emotional learning and the comprehensive sexual education, because teaching young children is, in the first, second, and third grade about comprehensive sexual education is an abomination as far as I am concerned, and that belongs in the home and not in the public sector. I will keep you all appraised. Thank you very much.
And this is that castle.org?
Yeah, it's castle.org. It's Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. And as I do additional, research, I'd be glad to share it with the commissioners so that you are apprised. Again, in your role, there's maybe nothing that you can do, but I think it is important in your role that you understand what is going on in the community. And I see, as I say, a lot of the mama bears at the school board meetings are just starting to push back and say this will not happen. But I think the role that we can play at Lobbyists for Citizens is an educational one, so that people can understand and they can decide. Now, if we were to put something on the ballot and the people decide, I want to have the schools take over the education of my children and teach them the value system that I don't want to be involved, so be it. I don't think that will happen.
Very good, sir.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, anything for Mr. Massey? Very good, sir.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Yes, Mr. Music.
John Music, 45 Coventry Drive. Listening to Brian, and the thing about it is, a couple years ago, I asked Riverside, I attended Riverside and went through Painesville Township my entire life. And the thing about it is, I said, I want a copy of the curriculum. And the first time I asked, I had to make a few phone calls, but I did get it. Next time I asked, I got it right away. So I highly suggest that parents get more involved to find out what is truly being. When I went to Riverside, where they were usually Bs and so forth, the school was rated, and overall, I think all our schools need some help. And lastly, the Ohio checkbook. Josh Mendel started that years ago, I looked on it this morning, I was looking for something, and it hasn't been updated. Maybe Commissioner Young may know something about it, how often they update. I know it's each municipality, and we have 23 here in Lake County. The ones that are involved in, I believe Lake County is involved in the Ohio checkbook. So the thing about it is, do you know how often that gets updated? Because when I looked, it was like, I want to say 18 or 19, it was like years behind, so does anybody know it? Does anybody know that? Or is it up to each individual municipality to put that in?
Becky, we have Becky Lynch, our county recorder.
Gentlemen, that's the auditor, so just give
Yeah.
Chris Galloway a call. He's supposed to be updating that.
There you go.
Mr. President,
Sir.
following off our recorder's comments, it's up to each reporting entity to update the data. It's usually as simple as clicking upload because the checkbook software keys off the major accounting softwares that most municipalities and counties and government entities use, but the state doesn't update. It's the individual city, county that clicks upload. So it's really up to them to make sure the data is current.
Okay, and just to make sure, I was not looking at Lake County, I was looking at it somewhere else, another entity here in Lake County, what I was looking at, so, but that's what I'm saying, it just was far behind, and I didn't know, I know each one's probably responsible for that, because not everyone has joined that, so, okay, thank you.
Fair enough, but just to bring closure to it, it is, in the case of the county, it'd be the Lake County Auditor, Chris Galloway, and then outside of that would be each individual entity, just to, bring closure to that, so we're not...
Okay. And we do not know how many of our 23 communities, we have no idea how many are in that, do we?
That should all be online. That should be, I haven't done the head count, but
Okay.
participating agencies will be prominently noted.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
Very good. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Did you want to have the last?
I'm sorry.
There's one more slide.
Oh, the side of a spring.
That's
Okay.
our spring slide.
A spring slide. Dear Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, we just can't make this stuff up. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's better than a spring.
I was going to say. For those who are wondering why we're giggling like school children here, the first time we tried to bring this slide up, it was in the palette, but it wouldn't come up. Today, when we tried to bring it up, a picture of a spring came up. Of course, I didn't say spring popped up, but that's a whole other story. So with that, we'd like to have the first year anniversary, Commissioner John Pletchnik. And we do have congratulations.
Thank you. I would just say my first year was a success because I had two great mentors on the county commission. I was very blessed to work with and under our president, John Hammercheck, as well as Commissioner Young. To say that I want to fill their shoes would be arrogant. I can't, but I do want to follow in their footsteps. And I also want to say thanks to all of our hardworking county staff, our clerk and assistant clerk, our prosecutor's office, our engineer. It took a lot of work, but we've done a lot of good in this first year. I'm particularly proud of our senior discount from the Department of Utilities program and the fact that without a lot of fanfare or controversy, both, we continue to balance our budget without raising taxes, which is not something that a lot of government entities can say. It's difficult work, and nobody claps you on the back when the engine starts, when you turn the key. People only talk about a car when it doesn't start, but I think that Lake County has done a great job of quietly doing the good work, and I'm proud to be the newest member of the team.
There you go, John. It's been a pleasure working with you, and what are the chances that Justice DeWine's back in town? A year ago he swore you in, and he's back in town visiting Lake County to take a look at some of the best work we're doing, so we got a fine tradition. Commissioner Young, anything you want to answer?
No, not at this time. Congratulations, John. You've done a great job. It's been a joy working.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay, Madam Clerk, have I missed anything?
I think we're
Thank you. She's kind of like our house mom. She keeps us on track here, so. All right, so with that, roll call?
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Yes, thank you. This meeting stands adjourned. Thank you for joining us today.